Hello everybody, we're back for another episode of What's in the Box, and today we're going to be looking at a different subject for me. I'm going to be looking at another helicopter. This is the 1/72nd scale Mil Mi-24V Hind E. This is a pretty late or relatively recent variant of this helicopter, which has had a very long and storied history with the Soviet and then now Russian Army, still in service. Went into service and production in 1969, and they've built over 2,400 of these things, which is amazing. There's some export versions. The Mi-25 and Mi-35 are export versions that go to a lot of countries. This thing is in service all over the world. And even still in service with some countries that are now part of NATO, the Czech Republic still uses this vehicle, this aircraft. So this kit is actually a reboxed version of the Zvezda kit that has been reviewed, of course, many times. Norm actually has done a superb, excellent review of the Zvezda kit some time ago. It was about almost a year ago, not quite a year ago. And this is a reboxed version of that kit. And it's a few dollars more. The Zvezda kit in the US goes for about $21 and change. This one is about $23 and change. Both are really good. Either one of them is a great choice, but anyone who's bought a Zvezda kit knows the weak part in the Zvezda kit would be the decals or decals. And the Revell kit is worth the $2 additional in my opinion, because you get the Revell Deckle Sheet and their cartograph, and they're beautiful. So, but just a quick review. So this is the Revell, like I said, 1/72nd scale Mi-24V Hind E. It is kit number 4839. There's some really nice photographs of a completed model here on the side of the box. And it's showing skill level 5. This is not for the faint of heart. This model is well over 200 parts, and it is something to behold. And some advertisement on the back, typical Revell fashion. And it is a side opener, like Revell normally gives us. And pull out the plastic. Alright, set the decal sheet aside. So, a brief look at the instructions. They are very complicated, but I did want to share them nonetheless. So, booklet style from Revell, kind of cheap paper. Almost newspaper grade. It's a little better than newspaper grade, but not much. And typical tool and symbol key for the instructions. They do give us a really nice sprue mat, though. I got to give Revell credit for that. That's nice. Here's all the color callouts. Of course, it's going to be in Revell color paint. I'm sure you can probably find equivalents pretty easy. And here we go. And you can see it's pretty fiddly. And this is a 1/72nd scale kit, so remember the amount of detail that you're going to get in this kit is nothing short of stellar. But it's a complete interior, pretty much for the most part, in that scale. It's tiny, but I mean, complete cockpit detail, rotor and engine detail. It's really quite stunning what they've done in this kit in this scale. It's going to build into a beautiful model, but you can see that. I mean, we're at step 24, and this is only the second page in the instruction sheet. So, construction continues, of course. You're adding the engines, joining the fuselage halves. I've not heard anyone complain about fit with this Zvezda model, so this is one of the new Zvezda kits. I don't anticipate that being a problem. Here we go with construction of the armament. You'll notice we're at step 58, so there are a ton of steps. Here we go through step 80. Looks like they're getting near the completion of the model. So it goes all the way to step 90, which is the attachment of the main rotor. And dang, guys, that's a lot of parts. There are two color and marking versions. There's a Czech Air Force one, which has this really cool tiger meat style looking paint job or decal on it. I'll be showing that briefly. And then, of course, there's a old Soviet Army one from 1993. Well, I guess that really, they wouldn't be Soviet at that point. Well, maybe they would be. GDR. So, two of them, two camo schemes to choose from, and of course a ton of decals as well. So just a brief look at the instruction sheet. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the plastic, and I just happen to have the clear parts sprue. One of the things I would also say that I like better about the Revell reboxing of this kit is Revell, of course, is going to take a little better care in packaging the plastic, because in the Zvezda kits they just throw the clear parts in with the same sprue, so they get damaged pretty easily. So what can I say about the clear parts? They are very clear indeed. There is a little magnification effect, little quote unquote lensing effect. They are a little thick, but not bad. But they do appear to be pretty clear. I'll let you guys judge for yourself what you think. Overall, not a ton of clear parts, and they don't look like they'd be too hard to mask even in this scale. Here's some windows. One of the nice things about the Hind, compared to its contemporary competitors from other nations, especially Western nations, is that it not only is an attack helicopter, ground support attack helicopter, but it is also a troop carrying transport. It will also carry, I think, was it 8 or 10 soldiers as well, in addition to the standard armament. I thought that was pretty interesting. So here are the sprues, and remember, this is a 1/72nd scale model. And I mean, look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprues, and a ton of parts. So just going to go over these with you briefly in no certain order. So this appears to be the bottom nose of the helicopter. There's a Gatling gun that goes on the nose. Yeah, this is going to be nose, and then some additional machine gun detail. But there's some really nice detail on the inside of this wheel well. So this piece is on the bottom of the nose. Let you take a look at that. The detail, these are very fine, very tiny recessed panel lines. They're really quite good. There's the little Gatling gun. Not great, but hard to replicate in 1/72nd scale. I think it's passable. I really do. So there's that sprue. This next sprue, this is mostly armament and maybe some drop tanks. I am not familiar with Russian helicopters, so you guys will have to please forgive my ignorance. But the detail is quite good nonetheless. Let me share this with you. So these are either bombs of some types or fuel tanks. I have a feeling, judging on their size and the scale, that they're probably fuel tanks. Maybe these are Ecm Pods of some type. These are the tips, obviously, to rocket pods. Here, you guys can see that. But you can see the detail. Look at for example, the detail on these two parts. Really beautiful. And that scale. They've done a fantastic job with the moldings and the level of detail. So this sprue is fuselage half, and then a bunch of filigree parts. But there's some really nice ribbing and interior detail. There are pilot figures with this. Aaron would certainly appreciate that. So look at some of the. That's got to be part of the cockpit floor, or maybe one of the uprights inside the helicopter. But please notice the fine recessed panel line detail on this fuselage half. It's beautiful. Really, I think about as good as plastic can get. Come on, camera, focus. Take a look at some of these parts. Wish I knew more about the aircraft. I apologize, I really don't. But this detail is fantastic. Look at the rivet detail on this piece up here. It really looks good. Hard to believe this is 1/72nd scale. This next sprue is the other half of the fuselage. And I would like to point out that there is actually some interior detail on the side of the fuselage here. You can see these windows, that's in the crew compartment. There are ejector pin marks here, but I don't think you're going to see that once the kit's assembled. Look at that. It looks like maybe the transfer housing for the rotor, maybe. Like I said, I don't know helicopter parts. It's really beautifully done. Check out the texture here. I think that's part of the wall of the interior. It's beautifully done. Wheels, obviously. Landing gear struts. It's amazing they can squeeze this amount of detail in 1/72 scale. Come on, camera, focus. Didn't want to cooperate. There we go. That's a landing gear struts. And the last sprue is the rotors. The wings that house the armament. Rear tail rotor and the main rotor hub assembly, which is exquisitely detailed. It's absolutely beautiful. Here's what I'm talking about. So there's where the main rotor goes. Check that out. It's amazing the amount of detail on this part. There's the rear tail rotor. That's gorgeous. Your primary and main tail rotors. And please note this really fine, beautiful ribbing and recessed panel line looking ribbing on these on the main rotor. That's just absolutely gorgeous. The little winglets for armament. These little ribbed details on these parts. I mean, the detail in this kit for the scale is just amazing. I did pay about $23 from this. I bought it off eBay from an eBay dealer. Look at the detail here on these parts. That is exquisite. So it's affordable. There's a ton of parts. So if you're looking for a challenging build and a kind of a different subject, guys, I tell you what, I recommend this kit. So here's the decal sheet, and it's going to give you a headache, but I do want to point out the quality. So here's the decal sheet. Look at all the stencils. Yeah, that's going to drive you nuts. But look at this really cool tiger meat style. This is that Czech Air Force one I was telling you guys. I mean, that's got to be the one I would want to build. And this kind of tactical, subdued Czech Republic emblem for the aircraft is also pretty neat. But yeah, tons and tons of stencils. These things are beautiful. They're in register. This is printed in Italy, so we're going to assume that's cartograph. But you can read these. I mean, they're... If I can get the camera to focus for me. You can see how good these decals are in the scale. It's just amazing. So, there it is, guys. Just a short review of the 1/72 scale Mi-24V Hind E from Revell / Zvezda. Definitely recommend on my part. Completely affordable. A little pricey for a 1/72 scale kit, but considering the amount of parts and the level of detail, not sure you can go wrong. Like I said, I do recommend this one over the Zvezda kit. I think it's worth the $2 extra because of that right there. A $2 decal sheet, you know, it's gorgeous. The Zvezda decals are usually a bit on the rough side. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the review, and please feel free to post a comment. I am going to leave, by the way, a link up to Norm's review of that Zvezda kit, to see you guys, if you want to see that to compare as well. And Norm is always I think one of the best reviewers on YouTube. You guys, take care. Bye-bye.